Honorable Haruna Idrisu has asked me not to give his full CV because even though he's one of the youngest ministers of communication ever, he really has a very solid background. He is a lawyer, but after more than 10 years on the Communications Committee of the Parliament of Ghana, he is in his own right an expert on ICT. So with those few words, and I believe Haruna, even though we haven't discussed it, because he is so close to the youth himself, having been one of our most dynamic student leaders, I believe you are a father yourself, and through his fatherhood, he also has a stake in the future of the country and of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dorothy, for those complimentary words. Very distinguished moderator, Excellency Dr. Olabi, our resource person, John Hall Lennox, I would choose to call him an evangelist of the software philosophy. Commander Griffiths, who is a member of the Ministerial Advisory Committee of the Ministry of Communications. Very distinguished special guest from Brazil, Kenya, Director of Radio Communications of the National Communications Authority, my own policy expert on ICT. I do not pretend to be an ICT expert. I've tried in the last few years, less than 10 years, for purpose of clarity, to see how I partner with you all in ensuring that our country leapfrogs taking advantage of information and communication technology to shape the future development of our country. And for me, as I listened to John Hall, one of the things that crossed my mind was whether we're not through the free open software foundation embarking on an ICT emancipation journey. And to say that we refuse to be dependent on the developed world and we refuse to be dependent on those with proprietary interests, and we want self-ownership of our own software that fits our own African values and culture, and that will support our own development initiative. I'm here wearing two hats, one on my own behalf as Second Minister responsible for communication, and the second hat, which is a difficult one, is to attempt to be in the shoes of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, who is unavoidably absent. And on his behalf, I'd like to minister his profound regret of his inability to be here. My understanding is that he has to step in for His Excellency the President in an equally important engagement. But be as it may, my pleasure to welcome you all to Ghana, and least we have friends from a few continents to name four, whether from Cairo through Cape Town, or from Dakar to Nairobi, or from Athens to Brasilia. We are all part of the African diaspora which has gathered here to look at the future of the open source phenomenon. I trust that today's gathering, Excellency Abdullahi was wondering what ALO stood for. I'm told that it's an African word which means a common grazing grounds. It reflects its feelings that there is no cost. To put it in my own words, if you see cattle wanting to take advantage of some grass, it is at no cost to nature. You do as you wish. And that is the of technology to ensure that Africa takes its pride of place in the information and communication technology age. There is no doubt that there exists unacceptable deficits, even in terms of the digital divide between the developed and the underdeveloped. And even as we come through Africa, you still have some unserved and underserved areas where many communities are not making the best use of ICT. But I do believe that the best way to improve upon governance, and to quote Excellency Abdullah once again, whether you want to improve citizen-to-citizen communication or citizen-to-government or government-to-citizens, you will need an e-government platform. So our challenge to this conference is that to come out with apt recommendations on how African governments can resolve the conflict between open source and proprietary interests, and how each of them will be best suited in driving our ICT agenda forward. The big question for this conference is whether the dimension of public collaboration and distribution that distinguishes open source software development, testing and improvement has any implications for the social and economic development of Africa. First, I believe that most of us will not know a piece of source code even if we saw it, let alone understand it. I thought the use of open source was something that we might have to enroll at the course and Confucius Center of Excellence today, except to see that, like a famous person who discovered late in life, that he had been speaking truth when I found that by using the Firefox browser, I was already an open source user in Ghana. It's a tool that can be used to enhance productivity. One standard example I'm told of the power of software which was developed through open collaboration is Ushahidi, which was used to help earthquake survivors in Haiti and Chile. And even in Ghana, we also will challenge this conference to make appropriate recommendations as to how we can take advantage of the free open source software to support e-education and e-health that is specific to our own needs and specific to our own values. Let me at this juncture also take, I'm also reliably informed that the developers of this Ushahidi were from Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, Malawi, the Netherlands, and the United States. The fact still remains that this is a very, very inspiring initiative by our own. The other important dimension I'm told is the possibility of developing solutions that can be deployed many times over and in different contexts. I am extremely pleased that at least a Ghanaian, I could have said a Kenyan or a Malawian, was part of the development of this Ushahidi phenomenon, and we want to commend you on that particular initiative. I'm also reliably informed that another interesting initiative is a research report that will be presented this evening on free and open source software and ICT expenditure in Africa. As you know, Excellency Abdullah, the African Union the last time devoted some time to discuss information and communication technology, and the conclusions were for African government not just to prioritize ICT, but to increase investment into that sector in order that we can leapfrog our social and economic development with that initiative. I am confident that appropriate solutions for e-government in Africa, force for education and health, appropriate solutions to fight cybercrime. It is peculiarly African, even